Hey, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies and gents, we're going to talk just a little bit, not going to stay too long, just have to give you an update. Now, this is coming from the actual Federal Reserve site. This is talking about the Federal Reserve. This is the actual law. Got to turn off my voice recognition so that we don't have my words being printed up in front of me. So let's get rid of that. Okay, now if you notice, it lets you know section 16, notes issued, issuance of Federal Reserve notes, nature of obligation, and were redeemable. Many of you know this because, as you see right here, it highlights 12 U.S.C. 411, where it talks about lawful money. Okay, and the issuance of Federal Reserve, that they shall be redeemed in lawful money on demand at the Treasury of the United States in the City of Washington, District of Columbia, or at any Federal Reserve Bank. Okay, this is the amendment of the Act, June 30th, 1934. The original Act was, look, it says, for redemption of Federal Reserve notes whose banks of issue cannot be identified. See the Act of June 13th. The original Act was March 9th through 12th, 1933. Again, amended January 30th, 1934. Let's go down a little bit because you need to understand what's going on in the language of this. And the granting the right to issue notes, that's what Congress claimed it did when it allowed the Federal Reserve. So that is legal. The Federal Reserve can issue what many people are calling fiat currency. Okay, they are permitted to do that because it was an act of Congress. I question that only because I say Congress was not acting in its congressional authority, but was acting under its commercial authority when they enacted these acts and begged them to prove different. If they are acting in their corporate capacity, their commercial capacity, then they have no constitutional authority. Many of you will not understand this because, let's just say, you need to understand the complexities and what the law actually says regarding this. But let's continue. Right here, custody of reserve notes, gold certificates, and lawful money. Here you notice reserve notes and lawful monies. The and is a conjunction, as you hear me say, conjunction, junction, what's your function? It divides, separates, shows a distinction between. So these are not the same as these, lawful money. Okay, that's the first thing you need to understand, that Federal Reserve notes are not money. They're coins and or currency issued under the United States. Go back and read the Gold Repeal Act, which so many people call HJR 192. Okay, Federal Reserve notes are not lawful monies. Okay, just want to make sure you understand that. The Federal Reserve notes may be redeemed. Let's go back up here. Sorry. Every time I touch the keyboard, you get a louder sound because I'm using a speaker system, not using my headset anymore. I feel freer talking this way. It says these Federal Reserve notes shall be redeemed in lawful money. So that also lets you know that Federal Reserve notes are not what's construed in law as lawful money. Remember, they're only good for the payment of all debts, both public and private, i.e., Federal Reserve banks for all taxes, customs, and other public dues. So Federal Reserve notes are exactly what they say they are. They have a dual endorsement, a two-signature endorsement. Okay, they are acceptable for quote-unquote paying down a debt. But if somebody has paid you for that debt, technically you should have the right to go and redeem those items in lawful money. It's the problem though. The Congress only authorized the Federal Reserve to print so much lawful money per year. And basically it equates to about $10. No, not even $10. Yeah, $10 per person. $10 per each U.S. citizen. And we're not talking about the people they refer to as aliens and so on and so forth. We're just talking about $10 per the U.S. person. And of course, guess what? We all know that that ain't gonna work. Okay? So that's why you're gonna have problems with that. So good health to you. Some of you will get that. Anyway, engraving plates, denominations, and form of notes. This is the reason why I'm doing this video, is because of this. Sorry, when it comes to Federal Reserve notes, there's no such thing as non-denominational. Okay, sorry. Some of you guys claim to be non-denominational. Well, guess what? No, you don't get to have that with Federal Reserve notes. It says, and shall have printed therefrom the numbered such quantities of such notes of the denominations of 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 50s, 100s, 500s, 1000s, 5000s, 10,000, as may be required to supply the Federal Reserve banks. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. These are the printed numbers on the engraving plates, on the notes. It does not say that this is equal to 25 percentums or quantums or phantoms. Pay attention, because many of you will not, again, understand this. Well, you're talking to us like we're little children. Get on board, little children, get on. Yes, I am. Because many of you are little children, and you need to be loved and caressed and hugged and all those other stupid things. So pay attention. It says Federal Reserve banks may be issued under Section 8 of this Act upon security of the United States 2% government bonds. You see, it equates what the value of it is. Together with such notes of the Federal Reserve Bank may be issued under Section 8 of this Act upon security of the United States. So it may be issued with the United States backing, only with the United States backing. See, issued under Section 8 of this Act upon security of the United States. Okay. Federal Reserve notes issued to any such bank shall, upon delivery, together with such notes of the Federal Reserve notes, together with such notes of the Federal Reserve notes issued to the banks, upon delivery, together with such notes of the Federal Reserve, may be issued only upon security of the United States at 2%. Now, did you know it doesn't say Federal Reserve notes $10, $2, $4, $8? Well, because we're gonna take you there. That's my girl, y'all. That's Patty. Y'all, that's Patty. And y'all know I loves me some Patty. And she's saying, you don't know how much I love me. We're gonna go, they say 48-48, so let's go to 48-48. See, this is March 3rd. And you notice it's always agriculture, because you guys talk about Law 73-10, but it's always agriculture. Why is it agriculture? Because you are land. And the way they register your birth certificate shows that you are land. See, there is no 48-48 here. Okay? But you hear people saying 48-48 stat. But there is a 48 stat. Let's see, 112 is what I'm looking for. Sorry, I gotta put y'all on pause. I'm waiting for this call. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be receiving a call back. I've got a situation with the Postal Service, and so they're going to be calling me back. But what we want to do is we have to give you the statute at large. So we're going to do HJR 192. That's the best, the easiest way for me to get to the Gold Repeal Act. So we do HJR 192, and I just type that in and I pull up HJR 192. I don't do all of that. What is HJR 192? I'd rather just pull up this one, because this is the one you see I go to often because they actually put the act here on this site. Excuse me. Before I even read HJR 192, I kept telling everybody about equal power for every dollar. And I told you about Thompson versus Butler, an 1887 case. Okay? Thompson versus Butler talks about every dollar being equal. And this right here is an act where Congress says that the inability of it to regulate money and to maintain at all times the equal power for every dollar. Every dollar. So let's understand what every dollar means. This is a dollar, that's 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 a dollar. No matter how many of them you put together, even if you put all of these on top of each other, they still equal a dollar. If you notice, they all say dollar on it. It doesn't matter if they add an S, it's still a dollar. And what you need to pay attention to, this is the law. Equal power for every dollar. That's why you saw in early times I would actually put that. I used to put equal value, you see, to regulate the value of the money of the United States. So if they have equal power, they also have to have equal value. That's my reasoning here. That's my reasoning now. But I've always known about the equal value for every dollar, equal power for every dollar. I've known that before I even started this type of research. Let me see, how can I explain this? This is from me sitting and listening to the older folk talk about stuff like this. And being fortunate to be in a community growing up where there were older folk who talked about stuff like this. And who allowed me to sit there and remain silent, but to sit there nonetheless. They knew when I was younger that I could handle the conversation. Eventually I was allowed to ask questions, and that took several years. I guess it was like, wax on, wax off, young Daniel's son, shut up, be quiet, do what we say. It was that type of thing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the callback I've been waiting on, so give me a second. Okay, ladies and gentlemen and ladies and gents, I am back. Although it was just a split second for you all, it was over 15 minutes for me. So let's get back to have it resolved. Be it resolved by the House of Representatives and the United States of America Congress and General Assembly. What are they resolving? Well, they had a crisis, an emergency. See, this was, let's go up so you can see the emergency. Resolution declared. Whoa. Whereas the existing emergency, so they had an emergency. What you don't know is every year since this, they've had an emergency. Now, I was just looking at let's get rid of that. I was just looking at this act right here before I got to number 8, which is the part that talks about the denomination being equal in value, because it says 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s. Now, the first thing when I saw this, I noticed it did not give it a value. It only gave numbers, denominations, but it never gave a value to any of these. Which means they did that intentionally, because Congress doesn't make mistakes like that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is my girl, Shaka. You know, I wonder how she's doing since her good friend and best friend, Mr. Prince Rogers Nelson, is no longer here. I wonder how I'd never seen anybody ask about her or talk to her, because they were very good friends. Her and Mr. Rogers Nelson were very, very good friends. And so I hope that that young lady is doing okay. Okay, what I want to show you guys is something about the Federal Reserve Act. You know what? I'm not going to find it in this. It's not in this one. It was in another page I was looking at. What I saw was it talking about the president and it talked about the Act of October 6, 1919. Now, many of you may not know what the Act of October 6, 1919 is all about, but that's the Trading with the Enemies Act. Let's see if we can go here. Okay, I opened it up. I think it's the agriculture one. Give me 1 second. Where is the... That's my girl, y'all. And she says, ain't nobody. Okay, ain't nobody. Okay. Act making appropriations to supply deficiencies in certain appropriations for fiscal year ending June 30th, 1933. That's not it. Oh, that's right. I did scroll all the way down. Let's wait for nighttime to come. Now, this is the Emergency Relief Act of 1933. This is supposed to be the section where it shows you what I was talking about, but it's not going to show us what I was talking about. So let's do this. Too big. Okay. Let's see. I want to see if this is the one. It says Reconstruction Finance Corporation is authorized and directed to make available out of the funds of the corporation not to exceed $500 million. Okay. Emergency Relief and Construction Act of 1932. So as you can see, this started before 1933. Everybody keeps focusing on 1933, but we can see the Emergency Relief Construction Act started in 1932. Okay? So the Federal Emergency Relief Administration, FERA. Okay? And let's see. I'm pretty certain, I haven't gone over this before, but I'm pretty certain this has a lot of bearing on a lot of the junk that's going on. I only came here because I thought this was going to take me where I needed to go. See, pay attention when I say that Congress, when they did the denominations 0, 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, 1,000, $2 bills, and $10,000 bills, notice what it says. This section shall not exceed 15% of the total amount made available by this subsection. You see how it gives it a value? Well, they didn't do that when they did the denominations. They just said that they were to print them up in those denominations, but never attributed a value. Why? Because they can't. Why? Because there's equal power for every dollar. Wait, let's see, I can better explain it this way. Nobody, baby. Nobody, baby. Nobody, baby. Feel that's right. No. Nobody, baby. That's my girl, y'all. Just want y'all to know, because some of y'all just don't understand like parents. Y'all just ain't got no type of understanding. I said I was gonna explain it better some way, but I forgot to do it because I decided I wanted to look for the section, and I don't really remember where it is. Okay, but I'm certain that this has got to be it. But I'm looking for the October 6th Act, where it talks about the president being authorized, and I'm pretty certain this was the one. But anyway, it literally spoke about the October 6th Act 1917, but this ain't it. See, at least 75% in the amount. See, it gave a value here. 75% again up here. 75% here. We can... Oh, that's my boy, George Michaels, and wham! Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, but see, I don't see the section I'm looking for. Okay, now this was the original act that talked about the value. I mean, not the value, but the denominations. I just don't know where it is in here, and I don't want to go through the whole thing with you guys waiting, and I don't have that type of time because I got to work on a motion today. We're getting ready to do a process at SATCOM for people, and we're going to be discussing this process and doing this for people, and this will be us putting it together. And so today and tomorrow is where I work on the document, okay? But yeah, this is not what I'm looking for. It's not what I'm looking for. So let's do this. Let's take you to that section. Let's go B-U-T-L-E-R B-T Butler versus Thompson. Now, you see, not looking for, there it is, 1877. I said 1887 before, but it's 1877.
Well, at least you sounded like you knew what you were talking about.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, now, you don't have to appreciate it. You just have to get it right the next time.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at this case right here. Let's see what the Supreme Court decided. Yes, that's right. This is the Supreme Court case. We're not concerned about the fact that it was involving gold. That's not our reason for going over this case. Okay? Sorry. We are going to where they actually gave the expression. All right. No, not looking for that section. No, where are you at? Not there. Okay, here it is where the Supreme Court said, we have no jurisdiction if the sum or value of the matter in dispute does not exceed $5,000. One owing a debt may pay it in good coin or legal tender notes of the United States. Now, this is before 1933. This is 1877 again. As he chooses, unless there is something to the contrary in the obligation out of which the debt arises. Again, that's why the not Judiciary Act, but the act that's called the Gold Repeal Act, people refer to as HJR 192, says that every obligation where the obligee purports to be owed a debt, to be due a payment, okay, that arises. That's why it uses these words here, because they're taking it from the Supreme Court. The same as I was telling my group yesterday. We are taking a Supreme Court case that was decided 2 days ago dealing with debt collection, and we're taking their words and we're going to use their words in our documents the same as they use their own words in their documents. But it says a coin dollar is worth no more for the purposes of tender and payment of an ordinary debt than a note dollar. Okay, I gotta do it again, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta bring it back up. History. We want joint resolution. We're looking for a particular phrase, and I'm gonna bring this down here for now. Okay. I need you to understand these words here. Particular kind of coin or currency, and we need to have of the United States measured thereby. That's the phrase we're looking for. It will be here. Every provision contained in or made with respects to any obligation which purports to give the obligee the right to require payment in gold or a particular kind of coin or currency. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta put y'all on hold because this is SATCOM business. We'll be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies and gents. Okay. I just wanna, David Ruffin, walk away from love. Gotta get rid of this. Told you, my songs, y'all. Grew up to this stuff. Does he look like he could actually hold that note like that, ladies and gentlemen? Walk away from love. Then we're gonna, you know what? I don't like This Is For the Love of You. Ever since, Elder Barge did it and all that stuff, I don't like it. So, yeah, everybody else that's about to play, we can handle all of these people, okay? But let's get back to these notes. so that you guys will understand what's going on. As I told you, associated with these notes is the Trading with the Enemies Act. And I cannot take you guys to the section that I was reading this morning that spoke about that, which is the reason I was getting ready to do the video anyway, is because it specifically mentioned the Act of October 6, 1919. Most people don't know that that's the Trading with the Enemies Act. And it had something to do with the statutes at large I was showing you guys earlier. The only problem is statutes at large. Oh no, it's not this one either. This is Butler, where the Supreme Court, now pay attention, the law has not made the note a standard of value any more than coin. Okay? There is equal value, equal power for every dollar. Even the coin is considered a dollar. Either it's a penny dollar, a quarter dollar, a half dollar. Okay, they're all considered dollars. See, as is true in the market, as an article of merchandise, one is of greater value than the other. But as money, that is to say, a medium of exchange, the law knows no difference between them. Okay? So I need you guys just to understand it's been this way. This is not something new. I'm not creating anything new. As I showed you in the Gold Repeal Act, HJR 192 is what you guys are often referring to it as. There is, let's go up, at all times equal power for every dollar. Everybody else keeps focusing on the wrong thing. You know, everybody focus on this paragraph right here. Shall be discharged upon payment dollar for dollar. Excuse me? They just said the same thing again, but what you don't understand is this doesn't matter. Because again, every provision or obligation, every obligation heretofore and hereafter incurred. This is the part you need to pay attention to. It says no such provision may be contained in or made with respects to any obligation hereafter incurred. Then it says every obligation. Well, see, this is a redundancy. This contradicts this, so we can ignore what came later. Why? Why can we ignore that? Because it's called the what is this? These are the fundamental principles of statutory interpretation. Sorry, I got a call coming in, and I'm going to see who is it to determine whether or not I'm going to answer it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my phone is not letting me answer it. Oh well. I'll let them go to voicemail and then I'll answer it later. There are a couple other things that I would like to tell you this morning, but it is not, don't have the time for saying it. I know who's calling now, and so I will call that person back because that person and I need to talk. But I don't have the time for giving you the information now, so I'll be doing another video soon. I say stay tuned. I ask that all of you have a good day, and I will speak with all of you in the next episode. Have a good day.